Welcome to Papa's Workshop. Today is a big day. This is the first day that I've actually completed a real project on my new Carve CNC for Newbies. And this is it. Gone fishing, be back someday. Now the thing about this is it was designed in Easel, had to be transferred over to VCarve Desktop, and you gotta listen to the video to find out why. And then it was carved using the G-code sender. This is quite a project, great learning tool, and you don't want to miss this. I think you're gonna learn a lot. So let's get started. Today's project is going to be this fishing sign, and this is going to be a big test. So to do this, I'm using a 1/2" MDF, which is medium density fiberboard, and I'm cutting this 8 inches wide, and I'm going to cut it 18 inches long. Now this is going to be the first time that I really am doing a project on my new CNC machine using the universal G-code sender. So there's a lot of different new elements to this project that I have not done before. Now the file that I'm going to be using is from Easel. This is a file that I've had in the Easel software for quite a while, and I've actually never carved. So this is a good opportunity to be able to show that Easel can generate the G-code. Now the technique that I'm going to use on this is something that I've used before on my bathroom vanity, and the nice thing about this is it dries very quickly. I want to be able to do this project all in one day. So the first thing I'm doing is putting a coat of the high gloss pure white down, and this is my base coat. Once this base coat is down, I'm going to use a wet on wet technique and add my color. The last thing I want to do is be able to smooth out the white paint and have the texture and the grain all going in one direction. Then it's time to apply the color. Now this time I'm doing a little bit different. I'm just adding a few drops of the black, and I'm also going to be adding a few drops of the blue. Now I put this black down to begin with and just begin to spread it and blend it in with the white paint. And this is actually working real well. Next, what I want to be able to do is go ahead and add drops of the blue scattered throughout this whole project. And I'm going to add some additional black paint in and blend it all together. The key to this painting process is to be able to blend the colors without over blending. And by that I mean I'm putting the drops of paint scattered throughout the project and then blending it together. But I want to be able to do it in such a way that the individual colors are still able to be seen. I want to see a definite blue, a definite black, and I want the white to be able to show through this whole project. You have to know when to quit, because if you go too far, all you'll have is a big gray blob of paint, and you'll lose the individual colors. The other thing that I like about this technique is that it goes very quickly. And depending on the project, you can use a multiple different colors to be able to get the desired effect. This, I think, turned out real nice. I actually like this. I think this is going to be a real pretty sign, even though it's just a test. Now I wanted to take just a moment to show you the colors that I'm using, and you can pick up these acrylic paints really at any of the different stores, whether it's Michael's, Walmart, or Hobby Lobby. Now this is the look of the file in Easel that I put together that I'm going to be carving. Now I want to show you the preview, and I actually think this is going to look really nice. Now I've shown on many different videos before all the different steps that I've done, so this is going to be a little bit abbreviated. But I'm using a 90-degree bit, and as far as the cut settings, I have this set at 60 inches a minute. You just bought it
at 9 inches per minute, and my cut per pass at 0.08 of an inch.
As far as the depth of the cut, I'm actually going to be carving this at 0.1 inch deep. Now in hindsight, I wish I had actually made that shallower, because I think that 0.1 is actually too deep for this project. But at the time, I didn't know that. So you'll see what I'm talking about as we go through this project and you see the end result. With everything set, it's time to generate the G-code. And I do this by selecting Machine, select the Advanced, and that brings me up to this screen where I can generate G-code. Now this is a screen that I did not expect. I do not know why this screen popped up, because it's my understanding, and has been for a number of years, that you have 4 free days per month to be able to use the Easel Pro. So this is a concern. I'm not willing to pay the $19.99 per month or the yearly subscription either. So at this point, I am not going to be generating the G-code for this. So the next step is I'm saving this file, and I'm going to open this file in the VCarve Desktop. So this is the same exact file that I've opened now in the VCarve Desktop. Now there's some changes and adjustments that I need to make because the size of the project is not correct. But as far as the graphics, everything comes into VCarve Desktop just fine. So to make the change, I am doing this as a single side. I need to change my X-axis for the width to 18 inches. My height for my Y-axis is 8. The ½ inch is fine. And I am keeping the bottom left corner as my XY home position. So all I need to be able to do at this point is select the OK. Now that changes and gives the project now back to the same look as I had before. The only thing you'll notice is it's not centered. So I'm going to highlight everything, and I'm going to come over and select this icon and be able to center it into the workspace. Now I'm not making any additional adjustments. I'm going to leave it just as it is because this is how it came in from the easel. And I'm going to leave it just as it is and see how it carves. I wish I could have used the G-code from Easel, but that wasn't going to happen. Now what I've done is switched over, and I'm going to create the toolpaths, and it's going to be the VCarve toolpath, and I'm setting this up as my depth of cut at the 0.1 inch. I'm using a 90-degree bit. So at this point, all I need to do is be able to scroll down and calculate. Now I got the error message because I didn't select the vectors. So let me go back, select all the sign, and now calculate, and this is what you get. Now I have all the toolpaths created for this project. So at this point, I'm just going to change the color of the background to more of a wood color, and I'm going to change the letters so that you can see that. I'm just going to put white in for right now, and I can actually view what this is going to look like. So there's the sign. That's what it's going to look like in the VCarve Desktop. And of course, if I switched over and looked at Easel, you can see it's virtually identical. It should be. It's the same file. The next step is to select a post processor. You can use the Xcarve that you see here, and that works just fine. So from there, all I need to be able to do is confirm that the Xcarve is there as a post processor, save the toolpath, and I'm going to rename this as my Gone Fishing sign. Now just to make it easy, I am going to save this over to the desktop, and that makes it very easy to be able to find when I open up the Universal G-code sender. To be able to attach this project to my wasteboard, what I decided to do is just use my glue and tape method that has worked so well in the past. And if you haven't seen my videos where I've done this before, this is a very simple method where you put the tape down onto the wasteboard and then put the tape onto the project itself. And that way you have a good surface to be able to use to glue. Now the glue that I'm going to be using is the Star Bond glue, and this is the Star Bond thick CA glue for this project. Now after putting the glue down onto the wasteboard, I use the accelerator, also from Star Bond, to be able to spray the project itself. That makes it where the glue dries virtually instantly. Then simply press it down into position exactly where it needs to be, hold it for just a moment, and you're ready to go. It really does not cause any downtime to speak of at all. So everything is set now. It's time to get the computer on and get carving. Now to get things started, the first thing I have to do is use my touch plate. Now this is my 3-axis touch plate that I used. I'm just going to clip it onto the router and make sure that it's exactly where it needs to be. And if you recall from the previous video, I had the macro set up to be able to run this sequence to be able to set my X, Y, and Z position. Currently, I only have the one macro set up to be able to do the touch plate with an 1/8" bit. Now that will work from the standpoint of setting my XY home position. And then I'm going to go ahead and change over my bit to my 90-degree V bit. At some point in the near future, I'm going to go ahead and write another G-code macro that will take care of the larger bits. But in the meantime, this works really well. I'm actually able to use the touch plate, be able to establish my XY home position. Yes, it does create my Z as well, but that's not the most important thing. I went ahead and changed a bit, so I have my 90-degree V fit in. X and Y is already set. All I really need to do is reestablish exactly where my Z axis is going to be. Now I know there's some easier ways to do this, but this is part of the testing that I wanted to be able to do today, just to make sure that everything was working the way that I wanted it to. And so far, so good. I'm real pleased with how this is proceeding so far. Yeah, a quick look, you can see that everything is exactly where it needs to be. X, Y, and Z are all in position. It's time to go over, select Browse, and open up the file. So that is right here, Gone Fishing G-code. So I'm going to open that, and that brings it right into the universal G-code. All that's left is to turn the router on and hit send. And we have total success. It is carving and it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. One of the things that I like about VCarve Desktop is that the toolpaths are much more efficient than what you find in the Easel. I wanted to bring it in close to let you see everything, and one of the first things that you will notice is that the router is spending a lot more time actually carving the project than moving around from one point to another. And this is one of the differences between the Easel software and using the VCarve Desktop. The toolpaths, as I've said already, are much more efficient. Now if you look at the letters, they're on the Be Back Someday, they're actually a little bit too close together. Now one of the ways that I could solve that problem is to be able to cut it on a shallower depth. The other way would be to be able to use a 60-degree V-bit instead of the 90. So that's two different methods to be able to get those letters to space out a little bit. Of course, the third way is space out the letters to begin with in the design process. But again, this is a file that came directly from the creation in Easel, and it was not created in the VCarve Desktop. The one thing that I do like is the detail that's being created in the Gone Fishing part. And the spacing on these letters being larger is actually turning out very nice. So this is something else that I'm learning as I go through this whole process. having pre-finished this project really makes it where the details just really stand out and it looks good doing this. I cannot imagine how hard it would be to try to finish this project after these letters were done. So this is something else that you might want to consider when you're doing your carvings. Pre-finish the wood before you begin. Now at this point the letters are all done and it's time to come back over and complete the fish itself. Now this is where I wish that I had made this project shallower than my 0.1 inch. All the detail is there and it looks really good. It's just my opinion that it's actually cut too deep. At this point the fish is almost completely done and you can see the fine detail even down to the fin and the details in the fins. It's really very remarkable. Well, at this point the project is done and there's some important things that I want to be able to point out to you. Using the G-code sender you can see exactly what's taken place, how long is carving, and at this point the total project took 14 minutes and 46 seconds to be able to carve. Now to be able to show a comparison of the exact same file in Easel, it estimated that it was going to take 53 minutes. That is a significant difference. 15 minutes versus 53. Guess what file I'm going to be using from now on? You're right, I'm going to be switching over more and more to the VCarve Desktop. In future videos, I'm going to be designing in VCarve Desktop. But at the same time, I have a lot of files, such as this one right here, that are in Easel that I'm going to convert over and use the universal G-code and this CNC machine to be able to carve. Hi everyone, thank you for watching my video today. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell next to it so you'll be notified on the different videos that I upload. Also check out the videos over here to be able to stay up to date on the happenings in my shop. So again, thank you for watching my videos.